Hi BrickSlopes! My name is Laura Perron and I'm a designer at the LEGO Group. Unfortunately, I can't join you this year in person, so I wanted to make this video today to talk to you about being a LEGO designer. How did I become one? I also want to tell you a little bit about LEGO Dots, the theme that I'm a part of and that I'm very excited to share with you. And also to answer some of your questions that you've been asking. So let's get started. This delightful Duplo set is what I had growing up in the 90s. This was my first memory of LEGO, playing with the delightful farm animals and assigning each character a member of my family. I was always the one with the blue shirt and the brown hair. So this was my first memory of interacting with Lego, and then I didn't really play with Lego bricks until I was an adult. It just wasn't in my world. So how did I become a Lego designer? Let's find out. So fast forward a few years to when I'm in high school. I really liked art. I really liked painting and drawing and sculpting. So I knew that just in life I wanted to do something creative and be a creative person. And this is also in high school. This was my first taste of being a designer. So I joined my theater arts club in high school, and along with my fellow students, we designed and made our own theater sets and theater costumes for our productions. So you can see in the middle there, that was the first set that I designed with my fellow students. And you can see, layering of shapes and putting together these building elements, kind of like what a Lego designer does. And then the bottom photo is from A Christmas Carol, and that was a challenging set to make. They each of those pieces rotated, so on the one side they had like a outside building facade, and then on the inside they turned and came together to make the interior pieces. But it was through this program that I got a taste of what it was like to be a designer and to really take an idea, put it into paper, and then manufacture that idea. And I loved it. That top picture there is, we won a local award for our set design. So I literally won a gold star for designing. That was pretty cool. When I entered university, I wasn't really aware of the design programs that they had, actually. I knew that I loved fine art, and so that's what I entered university to do, actually. I was in the fine arts program where we did sculpting and photography and drawing and painting, just a mix of those creative arts. And it was in my first year that I had to take an intro to graphic design and an intro to industrial design. And I fell in love with industrial design, actually. These here are some of the products or some of the projects that we did in that program. So some furniture design, packaging design. Really, it's taking that idea that you have and then putting it into paper and kind of making those instructions of how someone else can build that. That was really interesting to me, being a designer. And I didn't know exactly where I wanted to end up career-wise, but I knew that during these university years I wanted to create really joyful products. You can see that table has like little feet booties on it. Like, I really loved having fun with it, and I wanted whatever I made to be joyful and happy. So that's what I knew when I was in university. And during university, I had a series of odd jobs, and these jobs really shaped me as a person and as a designer. So I think they're important to note. It's a big part of my journey. So one of those odd jobs was working at Walt Disney World Resort for a summer, where I worked at the popcorn stands. I wore these wonderful outfits, and I served popcorn to people, as well as the Mickey shaped ice cream bars. It was so much fun just to play, really. And one of kind of my first design jobs was at a company called Art Attack, and they make large scale foam props. Most of the props being for mini golf courses. So I worked in the foam room, and I would literally carve these foam props. Then they would be sprayed with a hard plastic coating to make it durable, and then they would be painted and shipped off. So these are some of the projects that I worked on. A soldier for a security company. I think it was like 11 feet tall. That jungle archway for a mini golf course. And then at the bottom you can see those monkeys are the foam and the glue before it's all sprayed and painted. And you can see I had some fun with it. I put a little tie on the monkey because why not? And this project is my favorite project that I made at that company. It's a hippo. It was about 5 feet long. It was a really big hippo. And I have a request from anyone watching this. If you see this hippo, please take a photo of it and send it to me, because I made this hippo and I was really proud of it, and I just have no idea where it ended up. And I would love to see a photo of it out in the real world. So if you come across this hippo, just let me know. My Twitter handle is at the end of this presentation. So as a university student, I'm working these different jobs. I'm learning how to be a designer. And then I also met Chris Perron. Spoilers, we get married. We've been married for 4 years now. He was a fellow student in my industrial design program, and that's how we met, was through school. And he also had a huge love for Lego, and so he's the one who introduced me back into Lego as an adult. He worked at the local Lego store, so we would build a lot of sets together, and because we were both studying to be designers, we were very curious about how things are made, and so we would build together, and we would also talk about the sets together, and we would talk about, why some design decisions were made, or look at interesting build techniques, and we wanted to learn how to be Lego designers. He really had that strong Lego passion, and that's what rubbed off on me and kind of kickstarted my own Lego design career. And so we had that Duplo set at the beginning. That was my first set, and then it wasn't until in my 20s when I received my next Lego set that was just my own, and that was Ariel's Amazing Treasures. I remember building that in my bedroom, and it was delightful, and I loved it. And then I think my next one after that was the Ecto 1 car from the Ghostbusters Lego Ideas line. Just a great set. And there was Lego at our wedding. Instead of floral centerpieces, we had glass bowls filled with Lego bricks that were in our wedding colors. And here our friends built the relationship. Very good. So 2016 was a really busy year for me because I got married. I graduated from university, from the industrial design program, and then I moved to Denmark. So while I was finishing up university, Chris was applying to become a Lego designer, and in 2016 we both made the move to Denmark because he was going to start as a Lego designer. So I moved with him. And a little bit about moving to Denmark. It's a wild journey to move to a country that speaks a different language is very exciting, and it's very confusing. And there was a lot of learning that we did together. For example, this was my washing machine that we started with. And so just all of the day-to-day tasks that you do take a lot longer when there's another language involved that you don't know. So I had to figure out what all of these words meant. When we went grocery shopping, we would be at the store just forever trying to Google Translate everything. I think it was like 6 months of living in Denmark before I could find baking soda, because I just had no idea what it was called, and it took me a long time to find it in the store. And that's the other thing too, you're not familiar with any of the brands. So things take a little while, but we've slowly made our way. We just fell in love with the architecture of Denmark, the food, the bread, the way of life is really wonderful. A lot of biking around. It's a really great place to live. So in 2017, that is when I started as a LEGO designer. It's been a very exciting time. My first project that I was on was a super secret project that actually didn't come through to the market. It got canceled about 6 months in, while I was there. And you know what? That happens a lot actually in the LEGO group. We work on a lot of different ideas, and not all of them make it to the public. So then I moved on to a new project, which became LEGO Dots. Some career highlights while I was there. I still am on LEGO Dots. And it's been an incredible time. I've been able to travel a lot for work. New York and London and Argentina are some of the places that I've gotten to go to, just being a part of the LEGO Dots team. One of my roles outside of being a model designer is being a toy doctor. People really like that title. I think it's a cool title. What that means is that I'm on set to have the knowledge of the product, if it's being photographed or if there's like a video being taken of the product. So I'm just on set to make sure, like, oh, is that built correctly? Are all of the pieces there? I even have like a little makeup brush. So if there's any like smudges on the bricks, I'm the one who goes and cleans it up. It's kind of like being a makeup artist for LEGO. So that's just one of my other roles, aside from being a model designer. And LEGO Dots. Yay! Got my armband on. I made this in London at the launch event when Camille Walala made the House of Dots. Our whole team got to go visit it, and it was such a cool experience. What an incredible way to launch a new theme. So if you're not familiar with the LEGO Dots line, there's kind of two prongs of it. There's the wearable objects, so the bracelets, and then there's what we call the home decor products. So that's the pineapple, the rainbow jewelry stand, and the animal photo holders. So I worked very closely with the pineapple and the rainbow jewelry stand. But I mean, I've kind of been a part of this journey almost the whole way. I've been on it since September of 2017, and then it launched this year. So a long time developing it. We made so many patterns, so many color combinations. I mean, when you have such open freedom to create this theme, like it just took us a lot of time and care to really get the best color choices that we wanted and the best play experience that we could bring to the table. And it an incredible theme that I'm really passionate about. I love it so much. It's so bright and colorful and fun, and we know that it's been really well received by the fans as well, and so we're really thankful for that. And we are excited to bring you more dots in the future, so stay tuned for that. And I wanted to point out this career highlight for me. In March of this year, I was doing some interviews for LEGO Dots just to highlight the theme and kind of talk about it and how it came to be. And I got to take a picture with the CEO of LEGO. I have a selfie with him saved in my phone, and it's very exciting. So that's a bit about me, about dots. I'm going to be talking more about dots and using it as examples when answering these questions from you guys. Let's answer some questions. Question number 1. Do you see the LEGO Dots line as standalone, or will there be theme crossover like Star Wars and Ninjago Dots, etc.? So I can say that more dots is coming your way, and we've been really thrilled with the reaction to dots so far, and we're really excited to bring new products to you guys, but I cannot talk about the specifics of what those future products are because we want things to be, exciting and a surprise for you, so I can't talk about the specifics, but more dots coming. Are there any plans for timepiece, aka wristwatch integration? My current LEGO watch is cracking in multiple locations, so being able to build my own with unique designs would be pretty neat. Sorry, can't talk about future dots products, but more dots coming your way. With LEGO Dots being a great way to obtain many curved and angled tiles, are there plans to offer them in more of the regular LEGO colors, less pastel? Stay tuned. More exciting dots coming your way. Sorry, again, I can't answer about the specifics of future products, but definitely stay tuned for what's coming up. Question 4. When designing a new set, how difficult is the process to justify making a piece in a new color or print, or a new mold entirely? Are there specific rules about when they are allowed to do that, or is there a committee that reviews those requests from the designers? So there's the need for new colors or new elements really comes down to the teams and the multiple designers and creatives involved with making new LEGO products. So there's lots of different people who work together to bring these things to life. So there are the model designers, which is people like me who work a lot with the bricks and the kind of the building experience of the products. There's graphic designers who are designing the graphics and the prints on the elements, and then there are element designers who are working with new elements that come into the LEGO system. So we, as all of us being designers, we all work together and kind of identify where we need new colors, or where do we need prints, or where would new elements be really helpful, or where would new elements really enhance the building experience of this. So anytime we kind of see a need for something, we talk about it and we discuss it with each other, and then it just kind of goes through that process of do we need to make it? And the element designers, they work across the LEGO portfolio to best determine like where new elements could fit in, and what would be really helpful, or can these elements be used in multiple instances? There's a lot of considerations that go into justifying these decisions. It's hard to answer about like a specific rules or like the specific process, because it's always a little bit different depending on the project. So I guess my answer is that anytime we think that something needs to be added, we talk about it, and then there's a lot of people involved in that discussion. Question 5. Before designing a new set, what parameters are you given, and which ones do you get to choose? Examples: theme, color scheme, target price, count, price. again, it's a bit of a merge of things. So with dots, I've been a part of it since about September 2017, so almost the beginning of the project. So I've almost had a say kind of every step of the way, because we're coming up with ideas, and we start with a lot of ideas, and then we kind of narrow down those ideas, and then we keep narrowing down those ideas until we have a final assortment. So I've been able to have a say every step of the way. So it's not so much that I'm given or necessarily being told you need to make a pineapple and it needs to be this color scheme. It's more so working with my team, and we all kind of talk about it, and we kind of agree, like, yeah, this pineapple would be like super cool, super funny. What if we did a kind of a tropical color scheme on it? So it's very, very collaborative. Oh. Question 6. While it's never good to rush the creative process, do you have deadlines for when you have to finish a design, and how strict or tight are those deadlines? Yeah, we definitely have deadlines. We have kind of a set timeline of when a set needs to be finished by, because there are a lot of people involved in making a set. It goes so much more beyond just me putting the bricks together. I'm just one part of the process. So we have those deadlines to make sure that that each product can really just be done on time, because once I'm done kind of establishing what bricks are being used and how those bricks go together, then it needs to go on to, say, the graphic designer who needs to create the graphics, and the element designer needs enough time to create the elements that go into it, and then it needs to go on to, say, a marketing team that needs to create photos for this product, and then it needs to go into manufacturing, and they need a certain amount of time to produce it, and packaging design, and there's a lot of different people involved in the process. So we definitely need to adhere to our deadlines to make sure that the product can come out on time. And to give you a rough idea for timeline, for model design, we usually work about a year ahead of the release date. Once you finish designing a set, is there a review process that it goes through before it becomes an official set? If so, what is that process like, and how long does it take? Actually, I would say it's the review process is before we finish designing a set, so that by the time that we do finish the set, it's ready to go. It can be made, and it's wonderful. So there's a lot of different processes that happen. One of the biggest things is that it's very collaborative, designing a model. So I'm in close contact with my creative lead of the project. For LEGO Dots, it's Brickmaster Amy. She is the creative lead of Dots. So I work very closely with her to kind of review the model, like, how's it going? How does it fit in the assortment of Dots? How does it fit in the assortment of the LEGO portfolio? And then there's also the building aspect of it. I work closely with other model designers, and we share knowledge with each other. And some model designers have been working at the LEGO group for 20 plus years. So we make sure that we're always talking with each other, so that we get the best knowledge and we can create the best experience possible. Because maybe they pick up on something that I don't see right away. So that's one process. And then there's kind of another process that each model goes through. We make sure that kids are interacting with each model, so that we can get it in their hands, and that we can see, okay, maybe this part isn't super strong. Maybe we need to reinforce this area, or this part is confusing. We need to clarify that. So we make sure that the kids can see it. And then it goes through a kind of like stability process. Safety is a huge process, every set is made to high safety standards. So that's very important. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of steps, but there's many considerations that go into making each Lego set. And how long does it take? It's hard to say because each model is different, but for, I think, like your average Lego model, like a few months, maybe, from kind of a serious start to finish. Every set is different, and every set has its own challenges, so it's hard to say specifically. Next question. How much collaboration is there between the master builders? Do you ever work on designing sets together, or do you solicit other builders' feedback / help during the design process? Definitely. I think I commented on this in the previous questions. I'm assuming this question is referring to master builders Jamie and Amy. Like I said, Brickmaster Amy is the creative lead of LEGO Dots, so I work very closely with her on the Dots project. And for soliciting other builders' feedback, it is hugely important to get other builders' feedback during the design process. I think I can pretty confidently say that no model is just solitarily designed by one person. There's usually many people who have a say and an input behind each model, and I think it's really important. It makes the best building experience. Like I said, like there's so much knowledge amongst the designers of the LEGO group that it's really important that we're checking in with each other to really share that knowledge. For those who aspire to be LEGO designers in the future, what guidance can you suggest? I can suggest definitely some type of creative studying, like industrial design or art. Definitely a love of LEGO is very important. I think if you're like me and you didn't really build with LEGO much growing up and you discovered it later, like one cool thing that you can do is look through building instructions. That was a great way for me to understand building techniques, just literally building as many LEGO sets as I could and kind of rebuilding them to really understand what makes a strong model, or what kind of decisions are being made in these official LEGO sets. So build, and have a love of LEGO, and apply a lot if you want to be a LEGO designer. Both for Chris and I, it took multiple applications to become LEGO designers. Like we didn't just apply and get the job. Like we had to apply and get rejected and apply again, and keep trying. Question 10. How far in advance does LEGO's product roadmap go? I'd say pretty far. I mean, some ideas just naturally need more time to develop than other ideas. So, I mean, in established themes, or the themes that you guys know, we're working 1 to 2 years out working on future products. And then there's actually a team specifically dedicated to thinking long-term. What features of play can we bring into the portfolio? And they're working many years in advance. Any chance Monorail will come back? I'm gonna stop it there. Other than LEGO Dots, what other lines do you most enjoy? A little bit of everything, really. I love building the modulars. That's a really great activity that Chris and I like doing together. It's very, very soothing. I recently built the mobile, because that is a set that Chris worked on. That was very fun. Big, oh my gosh, beautiful set. So many cool building techniques in there, done by Chris and Adam and John. Check it out. But yeah, I like to build just a little bit of everything. I built Disney. Dots is amazing. I like City. I like Friends. I build it all. When did you decide you wanted to be a LEGO designer? I think when I started dating Chris, to be honest, because LEGO wasn't on my radar, and he was the one who really introduced it to me and helped me see it as a career option, because he was actively pursuing it. So, I mean, really, Chris played a huge part in that. Hey, question 14. I hear your husband is something of a LEGO fan himself. Who is the bigger fan? Well, I mean, Chris was definitely specifically a LEGO fan before me. And together we have a very strong love of LEGO. We have LEGO just everywhere in our house. Like I have actually this flower planter. I made this in university, a slip casting project, because I love it. And I'm like looking around and seeing all the LEGO stuff. We both love LEGO, but he's loved it for longer, I will say. What is something interesting you've learned about LEGO since you started working there? I think one of the more interesting things is learning just exactly how many people it takes to create one LEGO product. Like, it just goes through the hands of so many people. Like, it's not just a designer put some bricks together and then it goes out on the shelf. Like, you have, like I mentioned before, model designers, creative leads, marketing, package designers, graphic designers, element designers, molding engineers, regular engineers, operations, just it goes on and on and on. So what the end product that you see on the shelf, it's amazing how many people play their part in making it happen. Tell us something about LEGO that you don't think AFOLs and the general population know. For some reason, the first thing that comes to my mind, I don't know if this is interesting, but so the founder of LEGO, his house still exists in the town of Billund, where the headquarters of LEGO is based. And it's Billund, if you've ever been there, is a very small town. And that original house is really beautiful and iconic. And then across the street from it is like an eyeglass shop. I don't know, I think that's funny for some reason. And then like a bakery beside it. It's just this funny thing that this like iconic piece of LEGO history is just like in the town center of Billund. Something else about LEGO. The model designers love putting in Easter eggs into sets. One of my Easter eggs is in the pineapple. There are 2 black 1x1 round dot tiles. And like there's only 2 of them in the set. And you might think like, oh, why these? And it's solely because you could make kind of like a classic smile almost using those dots for the pineapple. And I thought it was really funny. And Chris is a model designer and he works in the same building as me. And he came by my desk one day and he saw this cute little face that I made and he loved it. So I just kept those elements in purely for the reason of making that little classic smiley face. And one more fact. The Superman and Crypto team-up set was one of the first sets that Chris worked on, and there's a license plate sticker that says CPLJ14, and that stands for Chris's initials and my initials at the time, and 2014 is when we started dating. So that's a fun fact for you. And this is the last question. How has COVID-19 impacted your work with the LEGO group? The biggest difference for me is that I am working from home. I've been working from home for about a little over 2 months now. Luckily, I have a laptop that allows me to design the models digitally so I can work from home, but I also have a brick collection at home that I can build with physically. So work still happens on Lego sets. It's just that I've been working from home for the last little while. But I think I'm gonna go back into the office soon here. And that concludes today's presentation. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching today, for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me talk about my design journey and my career at LEGO. If you have any questions for me or just want to say hi, this is my Twitter handle. Feel free to say hello. Let me know if you see that hippo. It's very important. And yeah, I hope to see you all in person another year. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and have an awesome day. Bye.